Augustin Carlson's from the BIS is talking about a tokenized future, and it sounds like he's talking about XRP. Also, I have a clip from Christine Lagarde, who's also head of the European Central Bank, who is also working with Ripple and Stellar. We also have some XRP news here. We're going to talk about RLUSD. We're going to talk about Axelar and so much more in this video. And I'm going to finish it off with this clip. This is from the National Bank of Abu Dhabi. I got how much money they are currently managing, and they are a Ripple partner. You're going to want to watch this whole video through. Let's go ahead and get into it. So this is from Black Swan Capitalist. Mr. Verson posting a little bit of a BIS. General Manager Augustin Carlsons explains a tokenized future for money within a two-tier framework. He said XRP as a central bank money optimized for global transfers, liquidity, and settlements. XLM as a retail money designed for everyday transactions and peer-to-peer payments. Let me play this.
Tokenization would open up the scope for huge amounts of innovation, because in the tokens you can put how can they be used, how can they be traded. You can build into there the regulation. So a lot of the burdens you have today in handling regulation could be simplified dramatically. You could also build in cybersecurity or even AML CFT considerations, which is another aspect that generates huge costs to you.
A huge problem.
So AML and CFT, so he's talking about AML is anti-money laundering, right? And then the CFT, he's talking about counter-terrorism checks, or counter-terrorism finance checks, CFT. And so these are things that have to be baked into any kind of transaction that a bank to bank is going to use. This is part of the compliance process. This is why all of this stuff is baked into Ripple's technology, right? When you're using Ripple's technology, it has all of this stuff: anti-money laundering, counterterrorism, finance checks, know your customer. All of this stuff is baked in.
And so you can have a tokenized world where basically through unified ledgers and interconnectedness, you can put this financial system in place. The other advantage of having a tokenized based world is that you can have atomic settlement, which means that you can do the settlement immediately, and therefore you could also save huge amounts in the management of collateral. We have already started a few projects in this direction. I think what we need to start with is to have a solid platform. What is a solid platform for a financial system? Is to have what we call a two-tier banking system. I mean, in every financial transactions, you always have a payment site. So you have to make sure that that payment site is in place. What are the keys for the payment site in every financial transaction? It's basically commercial bank money and, at the end of the day, central bank money, because any commercial bank money transaction settles in the central bank. So to do this, you need tokenized commercial bank money and tokenized central bank money, not necessarily at the retail level, but at the wholesale level. With that, you can assure that you will have what is called the singleness of money, which means that when you have commercial bank money, a payment originated in Santander will trade exactly one-to-one for a payment originated by BBI. A dollar in BBI or a euro in BBI is exactly the same as a dollar in Santander. That is a singularity of money, and we need to preserve that. So for that, we need to build a very solid pillar, digitalized pillar, focused on tokenized central bank money and tokenized commercial bank money.
Okay, so you have a wholesale and retail is what we're talking about here, right? So with central banks that deal with other banks that settle transactions, you're talking about the wholesale version of that, right? And you can have that represented in any type of commercial bank money, whether it's a dollar, a euro, a pound, whatever it is, right? You can have that settled at the wholesale level. When you're talking about a retail level, right, that's for people, me and you, or people to business, right? And so you can have that in stable coins, or you can have even the commercial bank money as well. So, you want a unified system that, either the wholesale side or the retail side both can use, right? And so the example that Versan was talking about here was XRP being the central bank side, right? The central bank digital currency side, and then the XLM being the retail side. And so, there's a lot of people that believe that XRP and XLM will work hand in hand in this new tokenized future. And so, I do think Quant is going to be there as well with their technology. Vandal, I think this is his brother. He actually signed up for BRICS-Pay. What does BRICS-Pay looks like? Okay, so let's check this out. So he said, I signed up for BRICS-Pay. This suggests that the U.S. is not only a part of BRICS, but it also has a new dollar backed by gold. Let me place currency up here so you can select the currency. Here's the U.S. dollar. So listen, I know BRICS is trying to get around using the US dollar, but the US dollar is still reign supreme king when it comes to trade globally. And that's not going to change anytime soon, no matter what the BRICS does. So it's probably going to be a whole lot easier to have the US dollar and a gold backed token inside of their own currency model in their system, right? So nothing too unexpected there for me. Here's Zoni QX top 10 insights for global digital asset regulation report. This report, Digital Assets Regulation Insights from Jurisdictional Approaches report by the World Economic Forum, highlights global trends and challenges in digital asset regulation, showcasing diverse regulatory approaches, and the key takeaways are, drumroll please. All right. Regulatory momentum. Over 60% of surveyed jurisdictions are now enacting or planning digital asset regulations to address investor protection and financial stability. That's really good. So 60% of the surveyed jurisdictions are working on, it sounds like, planning for digital asset regulations, which is really good. Diverse approaches. Major economies like the EU, the UK, the US, Japan have tailored frameworks reflecting unique national goals, creating a complex global landscape. You also have AML and KYC focus, a strong emphasis on anti-money laundering. AML, know your customer, measures highlights the need to security and transparency in digital finance, which is very important in any type of finance that you do globally. Technical sandboxes, many regions, including the UAE, UK, and Singapore, support innovation with regulatory sandboxes, enabling controlled experimentation. That means these different countries are working together, different banks and central banks. DeFi challenges. Jurisdictions are beginning to address decentralized finance, also known as DeFi, balancing innovation with consumer protection and financial stability. If you have not hit like in this video, please do so. We are trying to grow the channel, and I can do that with only your help. So please hit the like button. Thank you so much. Let's get back into it. Privacy and security regulations in the EU. The GDPR and Switzerland's data protection laws set high standards in prioritizing secure and transparent systems. You also have cross-border collaboration. The report underscores the need for coordinated global policies to prevent regulatory arbitrage to ensure consistent standards. So it's basically just saying that a lot of countries and jurisdictions should work together to have similar regulatory ideas and laws, so one country doesn't have worse or better. So like you want money to seamlessly, data to seamlessly flow across borders. If all of these different countries have different regulatory compliance, it's going to be really, really confusing, and it's going to be hard to have a global world new order with digital money. So all of them working together on a set term and policy would be advantageous. Regulatory clarity for stablecoins is advancing in regions such as Japan and the EU, prompting safer integration with traditional finance. Awesome. Customer protection policies aimed at safeguarding consumers, such as the UK's crypto and regulations, reflect a growing focus on transparency and risk management. Love to hear that. Innovation-driven compliance technology solutions like privacy, preserving KYC systems are gaining traction to streamline compliance within the compromising of security. So as a leader in tokenization, Zoni QX aligns with their regulatory insights, building a secure, compliant infrastructure that fosters global asset tokenization by integrating solutions like DYSIS and Talem. Zoni QX is poised to support institutions in navigating these evolving regulations, enabling the growth of tokenized asset markets. And then also, just so many things are happening on the XRPL. Check this out. Axelar is working to basically build a super sidechain. So our LLC in the EVM sidechain is perfected candidates and showcased. Up to 69 different chains now will all be interoperable in this future. Broader connectivity, XLR plans to support for Flow, Hedera, Solana, Stacks, Stellar, Sui, XRP Ledger, further increasing the networks to 69 chains, ensuring seamless multi-chain functionality. Insane. Also, what you have here is basically XRP's true value, right? XRPL open source, public decentralized ledger managed by hundreds of unique nodes. Computers requires 80% agreement to approve transactions, 100 billion XRP tokens deployed. Initially, each transaction burns 0.00001 XRP, right? All right, and so if you take a look at around basically what you have here, you have gold and silver, you have auto, it looks like maybe auto loans, you have banks, you have stable coins, Visa and MasterCard, of course. You have different types of auto interledger protocol, right, to Algorand, Stellar, interoperability is what we're talking about here. You have insurance, healthcare, transportation, right? Different types of stablecoins globally, manufacturing, treasury bills, transportation. It goes on and on and on, right? Assets, real world assets, digital representation of blockchains, XRP, right? Designed to be a global instant currency. Transactions take 3 to 5 seconds. Obviously, we know that since you've been on this channel for a very long time. But, if you are talking about all the money here, you are talking about XRP being a global reserve asset exchange for anything, Buy 20,000 XRP, currently 60 cents. Total investment 12,000. 20,000 XRP reaches $100. You have $2 million, which would be pretty zesty. All right, Black Swan Capital has also posted this. Christine Lagarde, former IMF director, International Monetary Fund, if you didn't know what the IMF is, stresses the need for interoperability among payment systems to tackle cross-border remittance challenges. Okay, let me play this.
Linkages between payment systems, because at the moment we have too fragmented a payment system around the world. As a result of which, if, for instance, people want to remit money back home, and it is the case for a lot of migrants who are working away from home and want to send their salary back home, it takes forever, it's very expensive, it does funny loop-the-loop circuits around the world for some countries. So interlinking payment systems so that people can actually transact easily and cheaply and transparently, so that remittances can go back to the Philippines or to Thailand or to Mexico in a smooth and cheap way. That is important. And it's the reason why we in Europe, we have a system which is called Target Instant Payment System, which applies to retail transactions and which within Europe work in that fashion. Fast, cheap, transparent. And yesterday, or a couple of days ago, we announced that we were prepared to link that TIPS, this instant payment system, with other instant payment systems around the world. And they are blossoming.
Guys, it's all going to talk to each other, right? This is a multi-chain, multi-payment system world, and Ripple is at the heart of it with XRP. No matter what you say, no matter the hate that people show in the comments sometimes for XRP, I don't care. Ripple is at the forefront of all this innovation, and there's really nothing that you can say that proves that differently. So, what? All right, Ripple plus the NABD, National Bank of Abu Dhabi. When the customer speaks, you listen, right? Ramana Kumar, Managing Director of the National Bank of Abu Dhabi, talks about how NBAD, dope name, is working to meet customer needs for cross-border payments through Ripple solutions with XRP. Let me play this.
We wanted our customers to get best of the service, turnaround times, as part of NBAD's commitment to the customer service. So what we have done is we had our customers coming to us and asking us, saying, how can we better these things in terms of turnaround time and how can we improve turnaround time? Today, the payment takes anywhere from 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. So that's when we started looking at how to innovate our turnaround times for the customers. And we started looking at blockchain as a technology and Ripple as a vendor who can do it. And that's how the whole idea started.
Do tell.
Yes. The specific problem we focused on was initially we were looking at how to connect our branches. So we are present in so many countries, we have so many branches. So when a customer makes payment from our NBAD UAE account to, say, an example, NBAD Oman, how can we solve that problem? And how can we give them almost real-time payment back to the beneficiary and the end-to-end customer service levels increase and the customers are happy? So that was the business case we picked up.
So really quickly, if you didn't catch what he said there, right? He said that they have banks all over the world, All right. And if a customer is moving funds from one country to another, right, or making a payment inside of the bank to another country, that payment can still take days. But working with Ripple and using XRP, that payment can now take seconds. And that's what he was trying to talk about there and how they solve that, right? And just think about that. This is just one bank chain. Imagine, Chase, HSBC, Wells Fargo, Citibank, all of these major banks are wanting to do the same thing. And when you can really get rid of this old 50-year-old SWIFT system and replace it with instantaneous payment, instantaneous settlement by using crypto, that solves all the pain points.
Looking at, and our compliance and all the stakeholders were very comfortable looking at internal branches and connecting the internal branches, and that's how we did our pilot. Building a business case should not be a big bang, in my humble opinion. You have to look at specific issues, specific problem, which all your stakeholders are very comfortable. They know what the issue is. They should know that it ends up in solving a customer problem, and they should know that it will benefit the organization as a whole. So there has to be a clear return on investment. There has to be an innovation coefficient, as we call it, and there has to be a commitment back to your customers. And you have to rope in your customers, and that's where NBAD has been working with our big corporates to bring in our corporates to see the end-to-end benefits they get by going live on this system. And we're working closely with the vendors on how to improve the efficiency and overall costs, and that's where the business case comes from. It's very important that all the stakeholders stand committed to this, and all the stakeholders understand why we're doing this. That's where the business case comes from. We've seen initial results in terms of internally to the organization. Once we did the pilot, the team visualized what benefits they can get out of this if it is done properly. The internal stakeholders all visualize how important it is and what benefits they can get once we go to the clients and start explaining to them. But the real thing is in the customer turnaround time and service levels, which is yet to be proved. And I think, in my view, I'm very positive that this will show the benefits we have initially thought about as part of our case.
All right. Also, just want to give you an idea of how much money that this bank does work. So if this bank eventually wants to use Ripple and XRP to move all of its money, right, that probably won't happen like that, right? But they do manage about $320 billion. It's just one bank. It's in 17 countries, and they have branches and subsidiaries and representative in different countries around the world, in different offices. So a lot of money to be moved. And this is just one Ripple partner working on a pilot. I hope that was valuable. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. I've been Crypto Sensei. Don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you are interested in hearing about my future videos. I need to work on that. Peace. Bye.